Hey, what's up? In today's video, I, Lena, FrumpyFit, a weight loss coach, am going to be reacting to one of Linda Sun's semi-recent videos. It was posted 7 months ago, has 3.2 million views. It's her top 3 most viewed video, and it's all about how she was able to change her body and her entire life in one single month. The title claims that she's sharing like everything that she ate and exactly how she worked out. These are some bold claims, you know what I mean? Just like all my other reaction videos, I'm only reacting to the information that is shared in this particular video, but I will give the disclaimer that I have seen some of her other content before, like 1 or 2 videos. And I know that a lot of you who subscribe to me also watch her videos, and you've shared some concerns with me about her content. So I'm kind of going into this with that little bit of bias that you guys have given me, that there's clickbait going on, maybe setting unrealistic expectations or standards for what kind of results that you can get, maybe a little bit of confusion as she struggles through her own journey and sharing that related to disordered eating, perhaps. I'm sure I'll have a lot to say, so let's just jump in.
It was time to change. So let me clarify, it wasn't really magically okay in 1 month. We know life doesn't work like that. But in this month, it was the first time in 1 year that I felt like I could breathe again. I need to preface by saying I was unhappy because of the way I was living, not the body I was living in.
Okay, so the very first thing I'm hearing, like as she's starting to share what she did to change her body in 1 month, she says, I did not change all of this in 1 month. I talk a lot about clickbait. A lot about it. Some people agree with me on my opinions on clickbait, and some people seriously don't and have verbally abused me because of it. And one of the videos that I did watch from Linda, kind of in preparation to get some backstory before reacting to this one, was her recently sharing her story where she addresses clickbait directly. And very briefly though. And in it, she says that when, she was initially starting her journey, she would search YouTube videos of like what diet to go on or how to exercise. She would often be met by like heavy diet culture, misinformation, things that were harmful to her journey. And so when she does decide to clickbait, it's to attract those people who would be getting sucked into diet culture and the misinformation that is just so prevalent on social media. And she wants that person to stick around and learn that that's not how you have to do it. So for example, it seems like in this video, she's wanting to attract people who think that you can change your body and your whole life in 1 month and say you can set the foundation maybe, but you can't actually change your whole body in 1 month. And I know I can acknowledge how frustrating that may be for a consumer, but I'm actually gonna agree with Linda here in this situation, referencing her other video. There's always gonna be some potential negative downsides, but I think that this type of clickbait is relatively responsible and actually sometimes very helpful, because are the people who think that you can lose weight, like change your whole body in a month, gonna click on a video that is titled in a way that's not clickbaity in the slightest? Like, how do we reach that demographic of people who are the ones that need the help the most? But I would love to know what you guys think, because ultimately you're the consumer. So just let me know in the comments.
But my lack of self-confidence with the extra weight didn't help. But that wasn't the root of the problem. It was just a symptom. I wasn't going to blame my body this time. I needed to take responsibility by understanding what was the root of my choices, my habits, my mindsets, my hurt, in order to start prioritizing my well-being. I myself was the root, not my body. And learning self-respect was necessary before.
I was the root, not my body. Absolutely love that. When I was struggling with my weight in high school, I was constantly blaming my body and thinking that my body was just one that wasn't meant to look the way that I wanted it to look. And of course now I've gone to school and I have my degree and like certifications and blah, blah, blah. And I know that that's not necessarily true to some degree. That's a discussion for a different day. But the mindset shift that happens is your body is doing the absolute best that it can given the situations and the circumstances and the environment that you place it in. Now, there's tons of other factors like privilege of all kinds that impact your environment and the situations you're in and the access that you have to healthy food and all of that. But whatever is in your control is your responsibility to control in order to give your body an environment that it's able to prosper in. So if you can shift out of that mindset of blaming your body and being frustrated with your body, switch that up with some gratitude, I think that's a really important mindset shift, and I'm really glad that she mentioned that.
The hardest part was being lethargic, tired, sad, really sad, being angry for no reason, and just feeling bad, insecure every single day. The first time I had really seen how much my body had changed was when I went to London to see Lily, and it was also the first time I felt truly alive in a while. I guess you could say it took me finally being happy to see how unhappy I had been.
I relate to that hard as somebody who is dealing with mental and physical health issues the past 2 years. I can see why Linda is so popular. She is extremely relatable, but also she's in college. She's relatively young. She seems pretty wise for her age. Certainly more aware and in tune and wise than I was at that age. And I feel like that comes with going through tough stuff. Something I've been thinking about recently is the analogy, I don't know what else to call it, of boiling a frog, where you put a frog in room temperature water, and if you super slowly increase the temperature, they don't realize that they're literally getting boiled alive because they just adapt to it. And that's what happened to me in my own health frustrations, where things just slowly got worse and worse and worse, and I just continued to normalize it, and I didn't realize how bad things were. And she's talking about she didn't realize how sad she was until she was happy. And I just think so often that happens to people in their journey. You gain very small amounts of weight at a time, and it just starts to pile on, and then you wake up and you're like, who is this person? What is my life? How did I get here? But the good news is, and I don't know if this is going to contradict everything that she's saying in this video, you can make similar small changes that will add up to big results instead of maybe needing to try to do everything in 1 month and do a total overhaul.
I needed a game plan. I needed a lifestyle rewiring to start from scratch, create new habits. So I woke up one day and just started.
Cucumbers are really good. Oh, that's so good.
Time for dinner.
Thank you, Drew. I love you. Yeah, I would love to do dietetic. I think it's too late now.
Never too late.
Stripped away what's there to do.
What I'll say about Linda's diet, just from what she shared, which it's dangerous to get into a place. This is a problem I have with what I eat in a day videos, or even just anybody sharing what their diet looks like. No matter how much they actually share, you can't know what their diet overall is looking like unless they just happen to film every single tiny thing they put in their mouth. But what I'll say is what I've seen in this video and the couple of others that I've watched from her is what I like about Linda's diet is it has a ton of variety. She's eating a lot of different fruits, veggies, protein sources. There's just so much variety, which I think is something that I'm wanting to work on. And when you get too sucked into dieting for weight loss, the whole calories in, calories out thing is so true. But the danger with that is an oversimplification to the point where we neglect other aspects of health related to diet, which is something that I always did as well. I shared it in this video that I posted last week. So not only is she getting a nice variety of nutrients, she's also enjoying treats regularly, which I think is very healthy and important.
I've been considering getting a personal trainer for a while. The problem was I had no idea where to find one, what gym to go to. I also didn't want to plan my day around their schedules, so I put it off for over a year. And then I found Copilot, or maybe Copilot found me. Some type of Destiny Stars Align thing happened because it gave me the perfect personal trainer that fit my needs over an app that I could still connect and work out with, but on my own schedule.
Okay, this is the sponsored part of the video, but I agree with a lot of what Linda is saying. I used to be an in-person personal trainer, and there are a lot of downsides to that, so I think anything that you can do that's online, if you need that added support, is fantastic. I will also say that I don't think that everybody needs that level of support. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. All the free workouts that different YouTubers create are a fantastic option. I think that is so great. Even the influencers and YouTubers who take it a little too far with the clickbait, like Chloe Ting, Grow with Joe. There are many others. Like, I still think that those workouts are very valuable as long as you don't let the clickbait kind of like mislead you. When it comes to exercise, I think most people overcomplicate it, and any type of movement that you enjoy and that is fun is like exactly what you should be doing, and really don't think about it too much. My favorite workouts currently, I found some girls on TikTok who made these playlists to like walk to the beat of the music like on the treadmill, and I'm obsessed right now. It's literally like walking, and then those more intentional walking workouts are the only exercise I'm doing right now personally because of my own health issues. Is it an ideal workout regimen? No. Do I care? A little bit, but not enough to stop me, because I'm making progress for the first time in like years. And this is where I'll just plug my little tiny things is, if you are looking for additional support and you feel like the free stuff isn't doing it for you, I have a course that teaches you how to create your own custom weight loss program, like both diet and exercise, mindset, goal setting, like everything. Or if you kind of already know what you need to be doing but just have a hard time doing it, for example, like you're totally cool with the free workouts and you're just having a hard time like pressing play and doing it, I have this new accountability membership where we all just like have a community and support each other and say like, this is what I plan to do this week, and then the next week we reflect on how well we did. And it's just like this community accountability thing. And like, if people don't post, I call them out. I'm like, where's your post? So that's really helpful too, if you want to check that out.
I was nervous to talk about food. You probably know why. Very controversial. But you guys know me. Food will always be one of my favorite things about life. I will always honor my body's hunger and cravings. At the end of the day, your body needs food to live, so you might as well make it taste good and find the ones that make you feel good too. You see, I wasn't eating food anymore because I loved food. I was eating because I forgot how to love myself. I wanted to feel happy in the easiest and most accessible way I knew how. It's like there was this disconnect, a brain fog. I was mindlessly eating every day. Food was no longer fuel or enjoyable or healthy or nutritious. Food was literally just my only escape. And that's not health. That's not food freedom.
This is huge. This is also something that I've experienced recently, and I think a lot of people experience. I went through mental health issues where it was hard for me to eat. I was eating a lot of hyper-palatable, highly processed foods because I had no appetite and I couldn't cook for myself. I didn't have the energy. And that was the worst I had eaten in a really long time. And as I'm trying to make changes to my diet, I'm having to like retrain my palate to like enjoy, I'm gonna say normal, just like food that is less processed and hasn't been literally engineered to taste as good as possible. And what happens is like, you would think that the person who is eating these engineered, like highly processed foods that are made to be really hard to stop eating, that you would be like loving your diet. Like you're eating these really delicious foods like constantly. But what I've found and what she's indicating here is like food, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like you're eating to eat, or like you don't even know why you're eating sometimes. And I've been reflecting on this a lot lately, and I remember when I was tracking my macros for my last bodybuilding competition, like if I think back at like when I was most mentally and physically satisfied with my diet, it was when I was tracking macros. And I'm not saying that everybody should, because everybody should not track their macros, but I think the reason that I felt that way is because all of my food was intentional. And because I was tracking my macros, like I would fit in enjoyable foods like ice cream and chips and those things that I still really love that most people cut out when they're dieting. But like every time I got to eat, it literally felt like I was so excited to be eating. And there was a small degree of restriction because I was prepping for a bodybuilding competition, so my calories were like lower than they normally would be. But you can get there with mindful eating. It doesn't have to be macro tracking. It doesn't have to be whatever. But when you're more intentional about what you eat, this is like more personal experience than anything based in science, but you enjoy food way more than when you just eat like whatever anytime. Nutrition is so unique to each individual, and sometimes the slightest bit of restriction can be triggering in a very negative way. But others, a lack of restriction of any kind, and I think restriction is the wrong word, it's like a lack of moderation, can also be very negative. And that's the danger with just like blindly following what other people are doing or saying helped them on the internet, because everybody is so unique. So I don't want anybody watching this to be like, oh, like I need to be restricting myself in order to like enjoy my diet or the opposite or anything. I think what's nice about people sharing their own experiences is you can look at that and say like, okay, cool, that worked for this person. Let me look at how I am dealing with things, what I'm going through, what I'm struggling with, what I'm succeeding at. Does that piece of advice fit in to me? Could that potentially work for me? And a lot of the time, the answer will be no. But that's up to you to decide.
I focused on fueling for a happier me, which meant never saying no to peanut butter, pancakes, donuts, nights out, because I love them and I deserve them and they make me happy. But making sure that I prioritize the nutrients I need to function, being gentle and mindful while still not giving up on the little important yummy happinesses of life. I focused on fueling for a stronger me, and making sure I get enough protein has made a dramatic difference in strength and energy by adding tofu and chicken and chickpeas and protein powders, and fueling for a more energized me. It meant tuning into how much is too much and how much is not enough. Too far down either sides of the spectrum doesn't make me feel my best.
I think she just summarized it nicely. It's about finding a balance between too much and not enough. Like, perfect. I also will add, I did a consultation for a student in my course recently, a couple weeks ago, and the takeaway, like we were kind of chatting, she was like, the course pretty much helped me, like I'm good. I just want to talk through some little tiny things and see if you have any like experience type of advice rather than like the science of how to deal with some of this behavior change and making decisions about my own journey and my own workout program, my own diet, etc. And she heard me repeat over and over and over again that like trial and error, like trying and realizing something's not working and then making a tweak to try and get to the ultimate outcome you're looking for is incredibly important. And I think what so many people do when they watch other people on YouTube is they want the answer. They don't want to have to do the trial and error. If somebody says, oh, this is gonna work, they just expect it to work without giving it a chance to trial and then look to see if it's an error or if it is actually going to work for you. In my accountability group, I will say like we use habit tracking primarily, and the habit tracking every single week and the reflection on why I was able to hit certain habits and why I was not able to hit certain habits has been such a game changer for me as well. Like I'm in that accountability membership doing everything that I expect everybody else to be doing. And not only that, like the habit tracking allows you to keep a record of things that you've tried that haven't clicked, haven't connected, haven't worked. And then you can think, okay, what did this habit, like what was this habit supposed to do? What was it supposed to achieve? And is there a different way that I can get to that same result? I don't know, I'm obsessed. Like habit tracking, you gotta try it.
Turning mindless eating into intentional. What the heck does that mean? For me, it means, hear me out, going on a date with my meal. Sitting down with my meal, giving it my full, undivided attention, appreciating its beauty, its smell and taste and texture and flavor, savoring my time with it, asking myself how they make me feel, recognizing how lucky I am to be with them.
I love that analogy. Intentionality, is that a word? Having intention with your food is just like such a game changer. And if you can't like put the screens down or be totally focused, like there are other ways to be intentional and like mindful as well.
Guys, don't worry, I will always be a proud snacker, but I would snack on autopilot. I'd eat a chocolate bar, go back and grab 5 more, and then I did that on repeat. Did I crave the chocolate? No. Did I enjoy eating the chocolate? No. Did my body want it? No. Did I numb my other feelings by eating the chocolate? Yes.
This is another like really important piece of this whole like intentionality and like actually figuring out how to enjoy your food, because sometimes like if you're eating these foods like a chocolate bar and you're not enjoying them, like, do you get what I'm saying? Are we on the same page? I feel like we are.
Oh my god. Oh my god, way too good.
Okay, wait. All of her food she puts down here, this pizza, pistachio, mozzarella white sauce, hot honey. I used to live in Flagstaff, Arizona, super tiny town. They had this pizza place that had a pistachio. It looks exactly like that. It's the best pizza I've ever had, not even being dramatic. Like, pistachios, honey, meat, and cheese, like, it's so good. I miss it.
Okay, let's talk alcohol. This one was tough. A pro and con list had to be made. Pros. I'm 21. It's a social lubricant, it's fun to drink with my friends, and I am 21. Cons. I don't actually like the taste, the feeling the morning after is horrendous. I have no control and usually end up doing really stupid things. I feel weaker during my workouts. I don't even end up building real connections from nights out, and while it makes my problems go away for 6 hours, it makes me 300 times more anxious the next day. So once I saw that list, yeah, I stopped experiencing FOMO because I realized I actually wasn't missing out on much that I valued.
Love this. So you can absolutely have alcohol while you're trying to make healthy changes. I mean, there's a lot of buzz lately on social media, the sides of social media that I'm on, about how like no amount of alcohol is safe. Like there's always going to be a negative symptom, reaction, outcome to any amount of alcohol. But as far as like fat loss goes, like you can have alcohol. And I have this whole video about breaking that down a little bit more, like how you can. It's one of my older videos, so like yikes. But I personally have had maybe 3 to 4 drinks in over a year. And I think that's being generous. Like it's less drinks than that. But all the reasons that I decided to stop drinking were for my health. And it was kind of very similar to what she's talking about. So if you're sober curious, I would say, like, not that I was completely sober because I had like a drink or two or whatever, but if you're sober curious, try it out.
Make your routine a routine you freaking love waking up to. I don't know why I also thought this was also BS and so cliche. I was like, no, I'll just wake up, grind, get my to-do list done, and repeat. What a sad, sad way to live. How can you be happy if you don't take time to do or find out what things make you happy? Or find an enjoyable, balanced way to do what you want to and also what you need to.
This entire reaction is just me relating to Linda, which I feel like is your all's reaction to her videos a lot of the time as well, why she's so popular. But this is something that I have started thinking about and implementing in my own life as well. My BFF Carly, she also kind of got her start in the fitness industry on social media. I'll link her Instagram below if you want to check her out. But she said something to me one day that I have never forgotten, and that's that she wants to live a life that's like as juicy as possible. Like she wants to squeeze as much juice as possible out of life. And I literally will never forget that. And then also Megan Batoon, she used to be a dancer, now a DIYer. She popped up on my TikTok For You page, and she said the way she goes through life is thinking about how can I make this more delicious? Like if she's stuck in traffic, how can I make this more delicious? She'll put on her favorite song and like jam. Like situations where that are just by nature maybe unenjoyable, trying to bring in enjoyable aspects to them. And I think when we talk about life overall, which is kind of what Linda mentioned and what I'm trying to implement as well, is even if something's not miserable, like it's like, how can you make it more enjoyable? And that absolutely applies to like weight loss, nutrition, workouts. Like I said earlier, like whatever workout routine or exercise or movement you find most enjoyable, like that's what you should be doing. Like there's no reason to not make it fun if you can. And sometimes that takes effort. Sometimes that takes trial and error, but it's so worth it to have a delicious, juicy life. I'm just imagining like an orange, like just juice dripping down. Enough with that analogy though.
The foundation to my entire happiness routine is sleep. I used to actually think not sleeping was a flex. The more work I did, the more stressed I was, and the less time I spent sleeping, the more value I had as a person.
I'm scripting a video right now that will probably end up getting filmed like for next week, but a lot of what she's saying is lining up with that, and that's that like the video will be like weight loss tips that are extremely underrated, and I put sleep on there because I have recently improved my sleep significantly. I've always struggled with my sleep. Like for a long time it's gotten worse, like with my health issues and stuff, and the lack of like good quality sleep was hitting me much harder than it used to because of the health issues. Like it's been at least 2 months now that I've been getting really good sleep, and it changes your life. Like, oh, I cannot even describe how much my life has changed by getting good sleep most nights. And when it comes to weight loss, like obviously that's important. There's so many different reasons. I'll go into it in the video that I'm working on right now, but I'll just give you a sneak peek about what something that has really helped my sleep. It's a supplement. I've tried a bunch of sleep related aids, supplements, but these are passion fruit flavored Serenity gummies from Cured Nutrition. They're a CBD company. These are incredible. It's CBD It's full spectrum CBD, so it's got like the tiniest bit of THC in it, so nowhere near enough to like get you high or whatever. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. I'm just gonna keep talking. And it also has functional mushrooms and adaptogens, so ashwagandha and reishi, like all just really good ingredients. And so I just take 1 serving of these every night. Not only does this help me fall asleep, because that was a challenge for me, my sleep quality once I'm asleep, out of this world. Like I used to get a decent amount of REM sleep because I track with my Fitbit, a decent amount of REM sleep and like almost no deep sleep. And now my REM sleep and my deep sleep are both, like the deep sleep category was the one that I always struggled with. And so I would, even when I sleep for like 9 hours, I would wake up still feeling tired. I think it was because of my deep sleep. I will say I don't trust this implicitly. Like I know that it's probably not all that accurate, but the consistency of this sleep data, it's like undeniable, especially like the way that I feel that backs up that data. I mean, like I'm obsessed, and I'm so obsessed that I reached out to them and asked if I could work with them. So they did give me a discount code, which I'll put here and I'll link in the description. I just can't recommend these gummies enough. And I've tried other CBD stuff, didn't do anything for me. So I don't take recommending supplements to you guys lightly, but this has literally changed my life. I also love their Calm Caps. These are the 2 products that I buy from them with my own money. These Calm Caps are also really good. They're just the full spectrum CBD. Anyway, I didn't think I was gonna have a chance to tell you guys about that, but I had to. I don't wanna gatekeep good sleep, you know?
I was a 5 a.m. person just because I thought it made me a productive person. What that actually makes is the perfect recipe for burnout. Tired Linda is grumpy, exhausted, caffeinated, a slower worker, and can't focus. Well-rested Linda is happier, has more energy, still caffeinated, but the quality of work that she can complete in the time that she has is better, and she actually has the capacity to enjoy these hours too.
And not only does all of that other stuff that she mentioned happen when you get good sleep, but your ability to recover from the exercise that you're doing, from the stress of being in a calorie deficit, all of that is much easier to recover from if you're getting good sleep.
It is so easy to want to change as fast as possible. It's so frustrating when you're trying so hard to change and for you not to see that change. It's difficult to accept that slow change is really the best kind. The only kind, actually, that will last. The fact that you know you want to change and are trying is something to be proud of. You're finally deciding you deserve more. One day, one moment, one decision at a time.
Nothing else to say, but I agree. I think slow change is the best kind. Even when I have the option to change quickly, I often opt for slow because I just know myself and like probably humans in general, when you go too hard too quick, you're much more likely to like burn out. And I'm just loving living slowly and making changes slowly. It's the best. Highly recommend.
Change is happening. Maybe you're just measuring it wrong.
Change is happening. Maybe you're just measuring it wrong. Preach. Oh my gosh. I do this all the time. I feel like a lot of what I used to do as a weight loss coach, like when I had my one-on-one clients, would be like convincing them that they're making progress. Knowing how to track your progress, like so important. I talk about this in when I'm tracking my befores. This habit tracking thing that I'm doing now too, game changer. Like you will, if you can track your progress correctly, you're just on another level. And you're gonna feel more successful because you can see more of the progress than if you're kind of not paying as much attention. And you're like only looking at the scale, or you're only looking at yourself in the mirror trying to tell if you changed from yesterday. This another perfect analogy for this frog is like when the water temperature is increasing, it doesn't notice. If you're making changes and you're looking in the mirror daily, you're probably not gonna notice them, because it's getting normalized every day.
I'm not in a rush to change my life in a month. I'm not in a rush at all. This year taught me I didn't move backwards. I didn't run in circles. I did get a little lost, and I'm allowed to. I needed to, so I could re-find my way. In no way am I healed or living the perfect life now, and I don't really want to be. I'm not trying to go back to my old body and my old life and a happier me before. She doesn't exist anymore. When I envision the person I want to be, I don't know what she looks like or how much she eats or how much she weighs, but she is happy and whole and has forgiven herself and fuels her body and loves her strength. I'm trying to become her. Now, who is her for you? And I'll tell you a little secret. Right now, you are her, if you want to be, and you have always been her. So start living like it.
So So I literally was internally screaming at everything she said at that last chunk. Again, so relatable, so wise for somebody who was 21 years old. And then here we have this thing, that's how I changed my body and my life in 1 month, to that's month 1 of changing my life. Again, I understand like the frustration if you clicked on that wanting something different than what she delivered. I will acknowledge that when you create content, like I mentioned about the clickbaiting, where you're trying to entice a person who is looking for the quick fixes and has been under the influence of misinformation, if they don't, like if you save the lesson until the very end, a lot of times people don't sit through to the very end, and that's where this type of content can be dangerous. I will also acknowledge that me watching this one video and reacting to this one video does not mean that I am giving a stamp of approval to everything she's ever said or done or title or thumbnail or whatever. My reactions are never meant to be that. That's all I'm gonna say. I think this video, like usually at the end of a reaction, I'm like, I'm happy this video got this many views, or I'm not happy it got this many views. And I'm honestly happy it got this many views. I would assume that it's a net positive, but again, as a consumer, I'm not sure what you guys think about it. But the way I feel after watching this video is very much the same as my Claudia Saluski reaction, which was the first time I saw a creator just really like deliver like the most positive like transformation experience kind of thing. So that video's here if you want to check it out. Let me know what you think of Linda Sun in general, maybe this video in the comments in case there's anything I missed. But I'll see you guys in this video or the next one. Bye.